Thorndike's connection is also called violent theory. Edward Thorndike, born in 1949, an important early behaviorist. Thorndike was the first to formulate the law of effect. Thorndike's cat box. This is a puzzle box used. Trapdoor, ring, lever, connected to by the string. Cat put his leg against the door will open the box. Thorndike's method to the problem solve. Classical example. He placed a cat inside the box with a latched door. The cat could open the door from the box only by performing some such as pulling a loop of the wire or pressing the lever. Once at the box, the cat was rewarded with a small portion of a food. Then the cat was placed back into the box for a try. So the procedure could be repeated over or the task of his master. On the first try, the cat had no notion of how to escape, and so they mewed loudly and clawed and bit the surroundings, continued for several minutes. Finally, purely by accident, the animal hit upon. Subsequent trials brought gradual improvement, and the animal took less and less time to produce the response. Unlock the door. By the time training sessions were completed, the cat's behavior was almost recognized from what it had been at the start. Placed in the box, they approached the wire loop or the lever, yanked it, pressed it with like dispatch, and hurried through by the well-deserved reward. Observed only final performance might well credited animals for understanding. Thorndike argued that cats solve the problem in a as he as a proof. He recorded how much time the cats required on each trial to escape the puzzle box, and he charted how these times changed over the course of learning. Thorndike found that resulting curves declined and quite gradually as the learning proceeded. Isn't a pattern we expect if the cat had achieved understanding of how to solve the problem? They had their curves show a sudden drop at some time point. Aha, muttered the insightful cat. River that let me out. Henceforth, howled and bit no. Instead, these learning curves suggest cats learn to escape in a they displayed no evidence at all of understanding. Certainly, no evidence of any sudden insight into the problem's solution. Thorndike's laws. Depending on these laws, like presence of laws of learning on the basis of belief in conformism. These laws originally outgrowth of animals first, first presented his theory in the book Animal Learning, published in 90. Major laws are law of readiness, law of exercise, law of effect. First one is readiness. First primary of law of learning, law of readiness, or the law of activity, which means the learning takes aroused, preparatory, set or readiness means preparation. One is not in him. For example, typist or to learn typing prepares himself but not make much progress in lethargic, lazy, or unprepared manner. Law of exercise. The law of learning is that drill or practice helps in increasing learning, like SR bond theory, stimuli and response bond theory. Connections are strengthened with trial practice. Connections are weakened when trial practice is continued. The law of exercise, therefore, is also understood as the law of use and disuse, which connections and bonds may in context weakened or loosened. The examples of this are found in and learning. Learning to drive a motor, typewriting, singing, memorizing a poem, table, music. Need exercise and repetition of various movements. Last effect is effect in Thorndike's process. Cat initial responses in biting at the latch, clawing at the walls, all led to failure. As the trial proceeded through, the cat's tendency to produce these responses gradually weakened. At the same time, animals' tendency to correct response was weak at first. What trials gradually stronger. In Thorndike's terms, the correct response gradually, while futile ones were out. But what causes this stamping in, stamping out? Stamping in, stamping out, that is putting leg on the lever and getting pause. Thorndike's answer, the law of effect. In a proposition that is followed by the reward, that response is by no reward, or a worse, a punishment will be weakened. In general, strength of response is adjusted according to the response's consequence. We do not need to suppose that cat's performance require any process. Likewise, do not need to assume animal noticed a connection, the acts and the consequence of acts. All we need to assert is the animal made a response and a reward followed soon. That response is more likely to be performed later. Notice that Thorndike's proposes a clear parallel between how an organism learns, lifetime, how species evolve, thanks to the use of natural selection. Both the cases, variations that work, behaviors that lead to outcomes, individual with success, on. Both the cases, variations that are less successful are weakened, dropped. Crucially, the both the selection involves no guide or supervisor to steer a process. Their selection depends only on the consequences or, or whether these serve the organism's biological needs or not. And I concluded that all animals learn only by the trial and error, or reward or punishment. He used cat's behavior puzzle box to describe what happens when all beings learn together. All learning involves the formation of the connection. Connections were strengthened according to the law of effect. Intelligence is the ability to form connections. Humans are the most evolved animals because they form more connections than being. Thank you for